Case in the point. Mars Incorporated and Organizational Culture. A case study. Overview of Mars Incorporated. Mars Incorporated is one of the largest privately held, family-owned companies globally, known for its diverse product portfolio, including confectionery, M&M's, Snickers, pet care, Pedigree, Whiskas, and food products, Uncle Ben's. Founded in 1911, Mars has grown into a multi-billion-dollar corporation, employing over 100,000 associates worldwide. Despite its size and complexity, Mars Incorporated is renowned for maintaining a strong organizational culture that reflects its foundational values and principles. Core values. The 5 principles. At the heart of Mars organizational culture are its 5 principles: quality, responsibility, mutuality, efficiency, and freedom. These principles act as a guiding framework for decision-making, behavior, and interactions among employees, customers, and business partners. Quality. Mars aims to produce high-quality products and services, ensuring consumer satisfaction. Responsibility. Associates at every level are encouraged to take ownership of their actions and outcomes. Mutuality. The company believes in creating shared benefits among all stakeholders, including suppliers, customers, and employees. Efficiency. Mars focuses on optimizing resources, making the most of available assets without compromising quality. Freedom. As a privately owned company, Mars values its ability to make long-term decisions and act independently of shareholder pressures. These principles are ingrained in the organizational culture, promoting a sense of purpose and belonging among associates. Mars decentralized structure and cultural impact. Mars operates under a decentralized organizational structure, giving considerable autonomy to individual business segments, such as pet care, confectionery, and food. Each division functions like a separate entity, responsible for its own operations, innovation, and market strategies. Despite this decentralization, the core values unify the company across geographies and business units. This decentralized structure enables Mars to remain agile and responsive to local market needs while maintaining a cohesive corporate culture. Leaders in each division are empowered to make decisions, fostering a culture of ownership and accountability. This also aligns with the principle of responsibility, as associates feel a direct connection to their work and its impact on the company's success. People-first culture. Mars is known for prioritizing its associates' well-being and professional growth. The company fosters an inclusive environment where collaboration and mutual respect are key. Associates are often referred to as family, reflecting the company's long-standing belief in mutuality. This people-first approach is evident in the way Mars invests in associate development through training, mentorship, and career progression opportunities. Mars' emphasis on employee empowerment is reflected in its commitment to work-life balance and flexibility. Programs like Mars Be Well support mental, physical, and financial wellness. This focus on holistic employee welfare strengthens employee engagement and loyalty, which in turn drives higher performance. Sustainability and purpose-driven culture. Another key aspect of Mars organizational culture is its commitment to sustainability and social responsibility. The company's Sustainable in a Generation plan outlines its long-term vision to improve the quality of life for people, pets, and the planet. This includes reducing greenhouse gas emissions, sourcing sustainable raw materials, and improving working conditions for suppliers, particularly in developing countries. Associates at Mars are encouraged to contribute to these sustainability goals through their daily work, creating a sense of shared purpose. This alignment with larger societal and environmental objectives enhances employee morale and motivation. Challenges and adaptation. Despite its strong organizational culture, Mars, like any global company, faces challenges. The decentralized structure, while providing flexibility, can sometimes create silos between divisions, making cross-functional collaboration more difficult. However, Mars has adapted by fostering a culture of transparency and communication, using its 5 principles as a common language across its business units. Conclusion. Organizational culture at Mars is a testament to the power of values-driven leadership and a people-first approach. The 5 principles serve as the foundation for the company's long-term success, fostering a culture of mutual respect, responsibility, and sustainability. By balancing autonomy with shared values, Mars has created an environment where employees feel empowered, engaged, and aligned with the company's purpose. As the company continues to evolve, its strong organizational culture will undoubtedly remain a critical asset. What is organizational culture? Organizational culture is the shared values, beliefs, norms, and practices that shape the behavior and interactions of employees within an organization. It serves as an invisible force that influences how work is performed, how decisions are made, and how employees relate to one another and their organization. Edgar Schein, a leading scholar on organizational culture, describes it as the basic assumptions and beliefs that are learned by a group as it solves problems related to external adaptation and internal integration. Culture affects everything from leadership styles to communication patterns and work ethic. A key characteristic of organizational culture is its shared nature. It is developed over time through collective learning and reinforced through language, rituals, symbols, and policies. Employees adopt and internalize these shared beliefs and behaviors, which often become second nature. This makes culture a powerful tool for shaping organizational outcomes, as employees tend to align their actions with the established norms. Another defining characteristic is its implicit nature. Unlike organizational structures, which are visible and formalized, culture often operates beneath the surface. While it can be difficult to articulate, its influence is profound. It manifests through company traditions, leadership behavior, workplace environment, and even dress codes. Organizational culture is adaptive, evolving in response to changes in the external environment and internal dynamics. For instance, as organizations grow, their culture may shift to accommodate new leadership, employees, or markets. However, while cultures can adapt, core values and assumptions often remain stable over time. Organizational culture is the glue that binds an organization together. It shapes how employees interact, make decisions, and work toward common goals, ultimately influencing the overall success of the organization. 7 prime characteristics of organizational culture in organizational behavior. Organizational culture plays a crucial role in shaping how employees interact, how decisions are made, and how the organization functions as a whole. It is the shared set of beliefs, values, and practices that shapes the environment in an organization. According to Robbins and Judge, 7 prime characteristics define organizational culture. Innovation and risk-taking. The degree to which employees are encouraged to be innovative and take risks. For example, Google fosters innovation by allowing employees to dedicate 20% of their time to creative projects outside of their daily tasks. This freedom encourages experimentation and growth. Attention to detail. Organizations that emphasize precision expect employees to pay close attention to detail. For instance, companies like Ritz-Carlton are known for their meticulous attention to customer needs, ensuring an exceptional customer experience. Outcome orientation. This characteristic emphasizes results over processes. Organizations with a strong outcome orientation, such as Tesla, are focused on achieving goals, regardless of how they are attained, prioritizing efficiency and performance. People orientation. A people-oriented culture considers the impact of decisions on employees. For example, Southwest Airlines is known for valuing its employees and creating a supportive work environment, which leads to high employee satisfaction and retention. Team orientation. Organizations that prioritize team orientation emphasize collaboration. Zappos, for instance, promotes teamwork and open communication, making employees feel valued and fostering a culture of shared responsibility. Aggressiveness. This refers to the competitiveness within an organization. Amazon, for instance, has a culture of high expectations and aggressive performance metrics, driving its workforce to achieve more in a fast-paced environment. Stability. Some organizations value stability and predictability, focusing on maintaining a steady course. Traditional banks often operate in this way, focusing on sustaining long-term growth over rapid innovation. A uniform organizational culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, and practices that define an organization and guide employee behavior. It represents a collective understanding of how things are done here and fosters consistency, coherence, and alignment toward organizational goals. A dominant culture in an organization is the overarching culture that embodies the core values embraced by the majority of employees. It is typically shaped by leadership and influences key decision-making processes, employee engagement, and communication patterns. Companies like Google are known for fostering innovation and risk-taking as part of their dominant culture. However, within organizations, subcultures may also exist. Subcultures are localized or department-specific cultures that may share common aspects with the dominant culture, but also have unique characteristics due to different goals, leadership styles, or geographical locations. For example, within a multinational company, the R&D department may have a subculture that emphasizes creativity and experimentation, while the finance department might focus on precision and conservatism. In real-world terms, organizations like Toyota exemplify this balance, where the dominant culture of lean manufacturing and continuous improvement coexists with various subcultures across different regions or departments, contributing to overall organizational success while maintaining flexibility. Strong and weak cultures. In organizational behavior, a strong culture is one where shared values and norms are deeply ingrained and widely accepted by employees. This unity in beliefs fosters consistency in behavior, ensuring that employees align with the organization's mission and goals. Strong cultures offer robust behavioral control because norms are reinforced through peer pressure and organizational rituals, reducing the need for formal regulations. In Google, innovation, collaboration, and openness are core values. This strong culture leads to high employee satisfaction, lower turnover, and increased profitability as employees feel motivated to contribute creatively. On the other hand, a weak culture lacks cohesive, widely accepted values, leading to varied behaviors among employees. This inconsistency often results in higher employee turnover as employees feel disconnected from the organization's goals. Additionally, weak cultures provide less behavioral control, as individuals may not feel pressure to conform to organizational norms. An example of a weak culture is Uber during its early growth phase, where internal conflicts, aggressive competition, and questionable ethical practices led to higher turnover and public scrutiny, affecting profitability. In summary, strong cultures drive employee retention and profitability through shared values and unified behavior, while weak cultures often face instability and reduced performance. What do cultures do? Culture plays a critical role in shaping the behavior of individuals and organizations. In organizational behavior, culture serves several key functions that influence both the workplace environment and employees' attitudes. These functions include boundary defining, sense of identity, commitment, stability, control mechanism, and individual organization fit. Boundary defining role. Culture establishes the boundaries between one organization and another, differentiating them in terms of norms, values, and practices. For example, Apple's culture of innovation sets it apart from traditional tech companies, while Starbucks emphasizes social responsibility and community involvement. Sense of identity. Organizational culture gives employees a sense of belonging and identity within the company. Employees of Google, for instance, often feel a strong connection to the company's values of creativity and innovation. This sense of identity fosters a deeper connection with the organization's goals. Commitment. A strong culture enhances commitment by aligning employees' personal goals with the company's objectives. At Southwest Airlines, for example, the culture of customer service and teamwork creates a strong commitment among employees to provide excellent customer experiences, often going beyond formal job descriptions. Stability. Culture provides stability within the organization by creating predictable expectations and behaviors. For example, Toyota's culture of continuous improvement, Kaizen, provides stability and consistency in production processes, leading to high-quality products and operational efficiency. Control mechanism. Culture acts as an informal control mechanism that guides employee behavior without the need for constant oversight. Zappos' culture of empowerment and customer service encourages employees to take initiative and make decisions that align with the company's core values. Individual organization fit. A good cultural fit between the individual and the organization leads to higher job satisfaction and productivity. For example, employees at Patagonia, an environmentally conscious company, are often driven by a passion for sustainability, aligning their personal values with the company's mission. In sum, organizational culture plays a crucial role in defining boundaries, creating a sense of identity, fostering commitment, ensuring stability, controlling behavior, and aligning individual values with organizational goals. Creates climate. Role of organizational culture in creating organizational climate. Organizational culture plays a vital role in shaping the organizational climate, which refers to the shared perceptions of employees regarding their work environment. Culture, composed of the values, beliefs, and behaviors that define an organization, directly influences the atmosphere in which employees operate, impacting their psychological climate, job satisfaction, and overall organizational performance. The organizational climate is shaped through shared perceptions, where employees collectively understand and interpret the environment around them. These shared perceptions can range from leadership styles and communication patterns to norms of collaboration. When the culture emphasizes values like transparency, respect, and innovation, it fosters a positive climate that motivates employees and enhances their job satisfaction. A supportive organizational climate is key to reducing stress, improving morale, and boosting employee commitment. One key aspect of this relationship is the psychological climate, which refers to how employees individually perceive the environment on a personal level. For example, if the organizational culture promotes open communication and employee empowerment, employees are likely to feel more psychologically safe, increasing their willingness to take risks and contribute creatively. This, in turn, improves job satisfaction and work performance. In real-world settings, companies like Zappos have demonstrated how a strong, positive culture creates a healthy organizational climate. Zappos' emphasis on customer-centric values creates a work environment where employees feel valued and motivated. This focus on employee well-being contributes to high job satisfaction and improved customer service, translating to higher customer satisfaction. Thus, organizational culture and climate are interdependent, influencing each other to drive both employee engagement and organizational success. Positive organizational climates, shaped by strong cultures, not only enhance individual satisfaction but also contribute to customer satisfaction and organizational performance. Ethical dimension of culture. Ethical climate theory and its role in organizational behavior. Ethical climate theory, ECT, examines the moral atmosphere of an organization and how it influences the behavior of individuals within it. The concept of ethical climate is rooted in organizational behavior studies and helps to explain how the ethical norms and values in a work environment affect decision-making, employee actions, and overall organizational performance. Victor and Cullen, 1987, introduced ethical climate theory by classifying different types of ethical climates based on two dimensions: ethical criteria, egoism, benevolence, and principle, and locus of analysis, individual, local, and cosmopolitan. These classifications lead to 5 key ethical work climate categories: instrumental, caring, independence, law and code, and rules. Each category provides a framework to analyze and understand the ethical behavior within an organization. Ethical work climate. The ethical work climate, EWC, in an organization refers to the shared perceptions of what is ethically correct behavior and how ethical issues should be handled. EWC shapes how employees think and act when confronted with moral dilemmas. It influences both formal practices, such as codes of conduct, and informal cultural norms, such as how leaders behave. Ethical climate is crucial because it creates a sense of psychological safety where employees feel they can make ethical decisions without fear of retribution. In contrast, an unethical climate fosters misconduct, dishonesty, and a disregard for stakeholder interests. Climate categories. Instrumental climate. In an instrumental climate, decisions are based on self-interest or the interests of the organization. The focus is on maximizing individual or organizational gains, often at the expense of ethical considerations. Employees may justify unethical actions, such as cutting corners or manipulating financial results, if these actions benefit the company. For example, during the 2008 financial crisis, several large financial institutions were found to have acted primarily out of self-interest, selling risky financial products to customers without adequately explaining the risks involved. The culture within these organizations prioritized profits over ethical considerations. Caring climate. A caring climate places importance on the well-being of others. In this type of ethical climate, decisions are made based on how they impact people, including employees, customers, and the broader community. Organizations with a caring climate tend to emphasize corporate social responsibility (CSR) initiatives. For example, companies like Patagonia, which prioritize environmental sustainability and ethical labor practices, foster a caring climate by considering the impact of their business decisions on society and the environment. Independence climate. In an independence climate, employees are expected to rely on their personal moral beliefs when making decisions. The organization provides autonomy, trusting employees to follow their ethical standards without relying on specific rules or codes. Tech companies like Google and Spotify, where employees are encouraged to think independently and innovate freely, often operate with an independence climate. These organizations trust that their employees will make ethical decisions based on their values and principles. Law and code climate. Organizations with a law and code climate focus on adhering to external codes of conduct, such as industry regulations and legal requirements. Decision-making in this climate is guided by the question, is this action legal or compliant with external standards? Companies operating in highly regulated industries, such as healthcare and pharmaceuticals, often adopt a law and code climate to ensure that they comply with strict government regulations. For instance, pharmaceutical companies must follow guidelines for drug testing and approval, ensuring that their products are safe for public use. Rules climate. In a rules climate, decisions are based on adherence to internal policies and procedures. Employees are expected to follow the organization's rules to ensure consistency and fairness in decision-making. Government agencies and large bureaucratic organizations often have a rules-based climate, where following procedures is prioritized. For example, in a public sector organization like a city government office, employees are expected to strictly follow guidelines for issuing permits, enforcing regulations, or managing public funds. Real-world illustrations. Ethical climates manifest in various ways in organizations. A company with an instrumental climate may encourage its sales team to focus on hitting targets at any cost, leading to aggressive sales tactics. In contrast, an organization with a caring climate might encourage its team to prioritize customer satisfaction and long-term relationships, even if it means lower immediate sales. A rules climate might lead to employees strictly following protocols even when flexibility could benefit the customer or the organization. For example, Enron's collapse in the early 2000s exemplifies the dangers of an instrumental climate. The company fostered a culture where profit and personal gain were prioritized over ethics, leading to widespread fraud and, eventually, the company's downfall. On the other hand, companies like Ben & Jerry's embody a caring climate, focusing on social justice, environmental sustainability, and ethical business practices, which have become integral to their brand and success. Culture and innovation. The role of organizational culture in fostering innovation. Organizational culture plays a pivotal role in fostering innovation, influencing how employees interact, collaborate, and approach challenges. A culture that encourages openness, experimentation, and risk-taking can significantly drive innovation, as employees feel empowered to propose new ideas without fear of failure. On the other hand, rigid cultures that emphasize hierarchy, control, or conformity may stifle creativity and prevent employees from expressing innovative solutions. In the context of organizational behavior, culture shapes employee behavior by establishing norms, values, and expectations. A culture that prioritizes collaboration and knowledge sharing tends to see more cross-functional innovation. Employees feel comfortable sharing ideas across departments, contributing to a more dynamic and innovative environment. Real-world example: Google. Google, known for its innovative culture, exemplifies how fostering an open and flexible environment can drive continuous innovation. Google encourages experimentation through initiatives like 20% Time, where employees can devote a portion of their work hours to projects outside their usual scope. This policy has resulted in some of Google's most successful products, such as Gmail and Google News. Google's culture promotes open communication and a flat hierarchy, where employees, regardless of rank, are encouraged to contribute ideas. This openness eliminates the fear of failure, a common barrier to innovation. Moreover, Google's emphasis on psychological safety, where team members feel safe to take risks and express themselves, nurtures creativity and experimentation. Culture as liability. Organizational culture, while often a source of strength, can also function as a significant liability. Its impact on institutionalization, change, diversity, and mergers illustrates how a robust culture may sometimes hinder organizational progress. Institutionalization refers to the process by which certain norms and values become entrenched within an organization, often leading to a rigid culture. For instance, consider IBM in the 1980s. The company's deeply rooted culture, centered around strict hierarchical structures and a strong focus on traditional business practices, created an environment resistant to change. This institutionalization resulted in IBM's inability to swiftly adapt to the emerging personal computer market, ultimately affecting its competitive edge. Barriers to change are another major issue. A strong organizational culture can lead to a resistance to new ideas or processes. Kodak's decline provides a pertinent example. Despite being a pioneer in the photographic film industry, Kodak's entrenched culture of maintaining its traditional film business delayed its response to the digital photography revolution. This reluctance to adapt contributed to Kodak's eventual bankruptcy. Barriers to diversity arise when an organization's culture is exclusionary or homogeneous. For example, the tech industry has long struggled with diversity issues, partially due to cultures that unintentionally perpetuate a lack of inclusivity. Companies like Google have faced criticism over their underrepresentation of women and minorities, highlighting how a lack of diverse perspectives can stymie innovation and growth. Barriers to acquisition and mergers are evident when merging organizations face cultural clashes. The merger between AOL and Time Warner in the early 2000s is a case in point. The clash between AOL's informal, fast-paced culture and Time Warner's more traditional, hierarchical structure created significant integration challenges, leading to a failed merger and substantial financial losses. Creating and sustaining cultures. How culture begins. Organizational culture is the collective set of customs, traditions, ideologies, and values that characterize a company. It begins with the founders and evolves through a process of indoctrination, shaping behavior and practices within the organization. The foundation of organizational culture is often laid by the founders. For example, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak established Apple Incorporated with a vision of innovation and design excellence. Their personal values and work ethic permeated the company, creating a culture that prizes creativity and cutting-edge technology. This initial ideology is crucial as it sets the tone for how the organization will operate and what it will prioritize. As the organization grows, customs and traditions start to develop. These are practices that become ingrained over time. At Google, for instance, the tradition of allowing employees to spend 20% of their time on personal projects reflects the company's value of innovation and employee empowerment. Such customs reinforce the organization's ideologies and help maintain its cultural fabric. Indoctrination, or the process of instilling the organization's values and norms in new employees, is another vital aspect. Onboarding programs, mentoring, and the stories shared by veteran employees all contribute to this process. For example, at Zappos, the company's culture of exceptional customer service is not just taught but is exemplified through its training programs and by the behavior of existing staff. This helps new employees understand and embrace the company's values. In sum, organizational culture begins with the founder's vision and is sustained through customs, traditions, and values. Indoctrination plays a key role in perpetuating these cultural elements, ensuring they remain integral to the organization's behavior and identity. Over time, this culture influences how employees interact, make decisions, and contribute to the company's success. Keeping culture alive. Maintaining a vibrant organizational culture is critical for sustaining employee engagement, driving performance, and aligning behaviors with the company's goals. Organizational culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, and norms that shape how employees interact and approach their work. Keeping this culture alive requires deliberate efforts across multiple levels of the organization, including employee selection, top management leadership, and socialization processes. Employee selection. Selecting the right employees is a foundational step in preserving culture. Hiring candidates whose personal values align with the company's core values ensures that they will contribute positively to the existing culture. For example, Zappos, an online retailer known for its customer service, explicitly looks for candidates who resonate with their fun and a little weird cultural values. By focusing on cultural fit, companies create teams that naturally uphold the organization's ethos. Top management's role. Leadership plays a pivotal role in nurturing and exemplifying the organization's culture. Top managers must be role models, consistently embodying the cultural values they seek to instill. At Google, for instance, the focus on innovation and openness is reinforced by leadership that encourages experimentation and transparent communication. When leaders actively engage with the culture, employees are more likely to follow suit. Socialization. Socialization processes, such as onboarding and mentorship, ensure that new employees are integrated into the culture. Formal onboarding programs at companies like Southwest Airlines emphasize teamwork and employee empowerment, helping new hires internalize the company's core principles. Through these processes, employees not only understand the technical aspects of their job but also absorb the cultural expectations. In conclusion, keeping organizational culture alive requires a holistic approach. Strategic employee selection, active leadership involvement, and effective socialization help embed and reinforce the values that make a company unique, ensuring a strong, cohesive culture. Socialization in organizational behavior refers to the process through which new employees adapt to an organization's culture, values, and expectations. It typically occurs in 3 stages: pre-arrival, encounter, and metamorphosis. Pre-arrival. This stage happens before an individual joins the organization. It includes the values, attitudes, and expectations that a prospective employee brings. For example, a new marketing hire might expect a creative, fast-paced work environment based on research about the company culture. Encounter. In this stage, the new employee experiences the actual organizational environment. If the expectations set during pre-arrival don't match the reality, they may face challenges. For instance, the marketing hire may find that while the organization is creative, decision-making is slower than expected, causing some initial adjustment struggles. Metamorphosis. This is the stage of transformation where the employee adjusts and becomes fully integrated into the organization. The marketing employee adapts to the slower decision process by learning to proactively gather data early, becoming more aligned with the organizational norms. The outcomes of socialization include higher job satisfaction, improved job performance, and lower turnover rates. Proper socialization fosters commitment and loyalty, making employees feel connected and aligned with the company's mission and values. This ensures long-term retention and harmony within teams. Organizational cultures form through the shared values, beliefs, and behaviors that shape the social and psychological environment of a workplace. A key driver is the philosophy of the organization's founders. Founders establish the core principles, vision, and values of the company, creating a foundation for the culture. For example, Steve Jobs emphasized innovation and simplicity at Apple, shaping a culture that prioritized creativity and product excellence. Selection criteria also play a critical role in reinforcing organizational culture. Companies tend to hire individuals whose values align with their own. This is crucial in maintaining a consistent culture. Google, for example, is known for hiring based on cultural fit as much as technical skill, ensuring that new employees share their commitment to innovation, collaboration, and a non-hierarchical structure. Top management socialization processes further reinforce culture. Leaders model behaviors and set expectations that influence how employees interact. Starbucks, under Howard Schultz, embedded a culture of customer service by having executives spend time in stores, leading by example in providing a positive customer experience. How employees learn culture. In organizational behavior, employees learn and internalize culture through various socialization mechanisms such as stories, rituals, symbols, and language. These elements are fundamental in transmitting an organization's values, norms, and expectations, shaping how employees understand their roles and behave within the workplace. Stories are a powerful way to communicate an organization's history, values, and heroes. Stories often revolve around significant events or people who embody the company's ideals. For example, at Apple, stories about Steve Jobs' passion for innovation and attention to detail have shaped a culture of creativity and excellence. These narratives inspire employees to follow his example and prioritize innovation in their work. Rituals are routine activities or ceremonies that reinforce the company's culture. They can range from daily stand-up meetings to annual awards ceremonies. For instance, at Google, TGIF, Thank God It's Friday, meetings are a long-standing ritual where employees gather to discuss the week's accomplishments and upcoming projects. These rituals promote transparency, open communication, and a sense of belonging. Symbols serve as visual representations of organizational culture. They can include logos, office design, or even the way employees dress. At Nike, the iconic swoosh logo is a symbol of athletic excellence and competition, permeating the brand's culture and encouraging employees to strive for greatness in their roles. Language within an organization includes the jargon, acronyms, and specific ways of communicating that develop within a company. Amazon, for example, uses phrases like customer obsession and day one to emphasize its commitment to customer service and continuous innovation. Employees who adopt this language internalize these priorities as part of the organizational culture. In sum, these cultural elements help employees understand what is valued in the organization, influencing behavior and shaping a cohesive workforce. Creating an ethical organizational culture. Role models. Leaders set the tone for ethical behavior. They must lead by example, displaying integrity and accountability in their actions. For instance, Patagonia's founder, Ivan Chouinard, exemplifies ethical leadership through his commitment to environmental sustainability. Leaders at all levels must demonstrate ethical decision-making, as employees tend to model their behaviors after those in charge. Communication. Open, transparent communication is vital to promote ethical practices. Regular dialogue about the company's ethical standards, expected behaviors, and potential ethical dilemmas encourages employees to align with these values. For example, Google promotes its "Don't be evil" mantra through clear communication of its mission, promoting transparency in all operations. Ethical training. Training programs help employees recognize and resolve ethical dilemmas. These initiatives should be interactive, with real-world scenarios, to emphasize the relevance of ethics in everyday decisions. Johnson & Johnson offers ongoing ethics training that includes case studies on their core values, ensuring that employees make choices that align with their credo. Reward systems. Ethical behavior should be reinforced through positive incentives. Acknowledging and rewarding ethical decisions encourages others to do the same. For example, companies like Salesforce incorporate ethics into performance reviews, recognizing individuals who consistently uphold ethical standards. Protective mechanisms. Whistleblower policies and confidential reporting systems help protect employees who raise ethical concerns. Boeing, for example, maintains an ethics hotline, providing employees with a secure avenue to report unethical behavior without fear of retaliation. Creating a positive organizational culture. Creating a positive organizational culture is vital for fostering productivity, engagement, and long-term success. A positive culture is built on mutual respect, collaboration, and recognition of employee strengths. By focusing on these elements, companies can create an environment where individuals thrive and the organization prospers. Building on employee strengths. An organization must first recognize and leverage the unique strengths of its employees. Gallup's StrengthsFinder research emphasizes that employees who utilize their strengths daily are 6 times more engaged. For instance, Google is known for allowing employees to dedicate 20% of their time to projects they are passionate about. This practice taps into individual strengths and fuels creativity, contributing to a vibrant workplace. Rewarding and recognizing contributions. Rewarding employees for their contributions fosters motivation and engagement. Recognition doesn't always have to be monetary. Public acknowledgement, awards, or growth opportunities are effective ways to reward outstanding performance. Salesforce has a well-known program called Ohana Culture, where it prioritizes employee recognition and rewards to celebrate individual contributions, thus promoting a culture of appreciation and continuous feedback. Emphasizing vitality and growth. A positive organizational culture places a strong emphasis on the vitality and growth of its employees. Providing continuous learning opportunities, mentoring, and pathways for career advancement shows employees they are valued and contributes to their professional and personal development. At HubSpot, the focus on employee growth is central to their growth mindset culture. They encourage employees to invest time in learning new skills, contributing to both personal satisfaction and organizational innovation. By focusing on employee strengths, rewarding contributions, and fostering continuous growth, companies create an environment where employees feel valued and energized, which in turn drives long-term organizational success. Spirituality and organizational culture. In the contemporary business environment, workplace spirituality is emerging as a critical aspect of organizational behavior that influences employee satisfaction, performance, and overall organizational effectiveness. Workplace spirituality refers to the recognition and integration of employees' inner lives, values, and sense of purpose into the organizational context. This essay explores key aspects of workplace spirituality: meaningful work, spiritual culture, job design, transformational leadership, purpose, and organizational spirituality, illustrating each with real-world examples to highlight their impact on organizational behavior. Meaningful work. Meaningful work is a cornerstone of workplace spirituality. It refers to the sense that one's work contributes to something larger than oneself, aligns with personal values, and offers a sense of fulfillment. For instance, Patagonia, an outdoor clothing company, exemplifies meaningful work through its environmental activism. Employees at Patagonia are not only involved in producing high-quality apparel but also in the company's broader mission to protect the planet. This alignment between personal values and organizational goals enhances employee engagement and satisfaction. Spiritual culture. A spiritual culture within an organization nurtures an environment where employees' inner needs and values are respected and integrated into daily practices. Google is a prime example of a company that has cultivated a spiritual culture. Google's emphasis on employee well-being through programs like mindfulness sessions and flexible work arrangements reflects a culture that values the whole person, beyond just their professional contributions. This culture helps employees feel more connected to the organization and promotes a sense of belonging and purpose. Job design. Effective job design in the context of workplace spirituality involves creating roles that align with employees' values and provide opportunities for personal and professional growth. Zappos, an online shoe and clothing retailer, has innovated in job design by empowering employees to make decisions and encouraging them to bring their whole selves to work. Zappos' focus on customer service excellence is embedded in its job design, which includes providing employees with autonomy and a supportive environment to achieve personal and organizational goals. Transformational leadership. Transformational leadership plays a crucial role in fostering workplace spirituality. Transformational leaders inspire and motivate employees by creating a compelling vision and fostering an environment of trust and collaboration. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, is known for his transformational leadership style, which emphasizes empathy, growth mindset, and inclusion. Under his leadership, Microsoft has embraced a more spiritually aware approach, focusing on empowering employees and creating a culture of continuous learning and innovation. Purpose. Purpose refers to the overarching reason for an organization's existence that goes beyond profitability. Organizations with a strong sense of purpose often experience higher levels of employee engagement and loyalty. Tesla, led by Elon Musk, exemplifies a strong sense of purpose with its mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Tesla employees are driven by a shared vision of creating a more sustainable future, which imbues their work with a sense of significance and aligns their personal values with organizational goals. Organizational spirituality. Organizational spirituality encompasses the integration of spiritual values and practices into the organizational culture and operations. The Container Store, a retail company specializing in organizational products, integrates spirituality into its organizational practices by prioritizing employee happiness and well-being. The company's approach includes extensive training, a focus on employee recognition, and a commitment to creating a supportive and enriching work environment. This holistic approach to organizational spirituality contributes to a positive work culture and enhances employee satisfaction and performance. Characteristics of spiritual organization. A spiritual organization is characterized by qualities that foster a deeply rooted sense of connection and purpose among its members. Key aspects such as benevolence, sense of purpose, trust, respect, and open-mindedness are integral to its effectiveness and harmony. Benevolence in a spiritual organization manifests through genuine care and support for all members. For instance, a non-profit dedicated to community service may embody this trait by offering emotional and financial support to those in need, reflecting a commitment to the well-being of others. A strong sense of purpose aligns members towards a common goal, enhancing motivation and cohesiveness. For example, a faith-based organization focused on environmental sustainability will unite its members around the shared mission of protecting the planet, which can drive collective action and innovation. Trust and respect are foundational, creating a safe environment for open communication and collaboration. In a successful spiritual organization, members trust leadership to act with integrity and respect each other's viewpoints, fostering a culture where diverse ideas can flourish. Open-mindedness enables a spiritual organization to adapt and grow. For instance, a spiritual community that embraces new ways of thinking about social justice issues demonstrates openness to evolving perspectives, ensuring its practices remain relevant and inclusive. These characteristics collectively create an environment where individuals are not only engaged but also spiritually and emotionally fulfilled, leading to a more dynamic and effective organization. Criticisms for spirituality. Criticisms of integrating spirituality into the workplace often revolve around its scientific validity, legitimacy, and profit compatibility. Scientifically, the challenge lies in the lack of empirical evidence supporting the effectiveness of spiritual practices in enhancing workplace productivity. While some studies suggest that spirituality can improve employee well-being, these findings are often criticized for methodological weaknesses and lack of replicability. For instance, a 2016 meta-analysis revealed mixed results regarding the impact of spiritual interventions on job satisfaction, suggesting that more rigorous research is needed. Legitimacy is another concern. The incorporation of spirituality can lead to ethical dilemmas and perceptions of favoritism. Companies like Google, known for its emphasis on employee well-being, face criticism when their spiritual wellness programs are seen as superficial or as tools for maintaining a compliant workforce rather than genuine support. Profit compatibility is also debated. Critics argue that spiritual practices might distract from core business objectives, suggesting that resources allocated to spiritual programs could be better spent on tangible improvements. For example, when companies invest heavily in mindfulness training, some argue that the financial returns are not proportional to the costs, raising questions about the overall value. Overall, while spirituality in the workplace has potential benefits, its integration remains contentious, needing a balanced approach to address these criticisms effectively. Global implications. Organizational culture, the collective values and practices that shape how an organization functions, plays a crucial role in global business dynamics. Understanding its global implications involves examining key dimensions such as individualism, power distance, masculinity, risk orientation, and long-term orientation. Individualism versus collectivism. In individualistic cultures like the United States, organizations often emphasize personal achievement and autonomy. For example, Silicon Valley tech firms encourage innovation and self-expression, fostering environments where individual contributions are highly valued. Conversely, in collectivist cultures such as Japan, teamwork and harmony are prioritized. Toyota's success can be attributed to its emphasis on group consensus and collective responsibility, reflecting how cultural values shape organizational behavior. Power distance. This dimension measures how power is distributed and accepted within organizations. In high-power distance countries like India, hierarchical structures are prevalent, and subordinates are expected to defer to authority. Indian multinational firms such as Tata Group operate with clear, top-down decision-making processes. In contrast, low-power distance cultures, such as Sweden's, promote egalitarianism and participatory management. Swedish companies like IKEA often practice flat organizational structures that empower employees at all levels. Masculinity versus femininity. This aspect deals with the distribution of roles between genders and the value placed on competitiveness versus care. In masculine cultures such as Germany, organizations may focus on achievement and success, evident in companies like BMW that emphasize high performance and competitiveness. On the other hand, feminine cultures, like those in the Netherlands, value work-life balance and nurturing roles, as seen in Dutch firms that promote family-friendly policies and employee well-being. Risk orientation. Cultures vary in their approach to risk and uncertainty. In cultures with a high tolerance for risk, such as the United States, firms like Amazon are more likely to embrace innovative, high-risk strategies. In contrast, low-risk cultures such as Japan often prefer incremental improvements and stability, which is reflected in companies like Sony's cautious approach to new product development. Long-term versus short-term orientation. Cultures with a long-term orientation, such as China, emphasize persistence and long-term planning. Chinese companies like Huawei invest heavily in research and development with a focus on future growth. Short-term oriented cultures, such as those in the US, may prioritize immediate results and quarterly profits, influencing companies like General Electric to focus on short-term performance metrics. In summary, organizational culture deeply influences how companies operate globally. Understanding these cultural dimensions helps multinational organizations navigate diverse business environments and implement effective strategies.